verse several times, so I'm just going to go and read it. In verse 16, chapter 2 of Revelation, it says, repent. He's talking to the congregations. And I always read this and the one at the end that I just read, because one of the arguments that I have heard in Christianity, which I believe is sad that they use it as one of their main arguments, at least some of them. One of the arguments that I have heard as the main argument for the rapture happening, as they call it, the rapture happening during the beginning of the last 7 years, at the very beginning. So the rapture happens and then the 7 years happen, the last week of Daniel, as some see it, the pre-trib, as they call themselves, or some call them. They say that they believe that because in Revelation you only see the term ecclesia, which is what they then turn to church. You only see the term church until the 4th chapter. Then you don't see it again in the entire Revelation. So they claim that the church by that time would be gone from this earth, not understanding that, first of all, the word from the original in Hebrew means congregation, and that is a term used throughout the entire scriptures to talk about his people, about the chosen people. So there is no difference between the congregation which became the nation of Israel and the congregation that is supposed to follow Yahushua. Is the same people. Yet through Yahushua and the rejection by the Jews of Mashiach, opened the door for Gentiles to also become part of his people and therefore part of the congregation, yet it is the same congregation. However, in Christianity they tend to split Jews and Gentiles as the church and the nation. So they reinforce that interpretation through the wrong translations that we have, in which, for instance, in the Old Testament, taking it from the Hebrew, they write congregation, and in the New Testament, taking it from the Greek, they write church, because one word was in Hebrew, one word was in Greek, so they gave a different word in English for each, not understanding that originally they were the same. So there are a lot of things to be said regarding that. At least I hope that was clear. My point is that they say that they will be raptured before the last 7 years, and that the last 7 years would begin with the first seal, which that part is true. The first seal begins the last 7 years, the last week of Daniel, according to Daniel. So they say by that time the church is gone because the word church doesn't appear. However, when Yahushua is talking to one of the congregations, of the 7 congregations represented by the 7 lights in the menorah, he says in verse 16, repent, or else I will come to you quickly and will fight against them with the sword of my mouth. So Messiah is telling the congregations, one in particular, repent, or else I will come and fight with them, those who don't repent, those who take control of the people and lead them the bad way and follow in a false doctrine and all of that. So repent, or else I will come to you quickly. So he's saying that before they are taken away, he has to come to fight with the rebellious one. He has to come and fight with those congregations that are rebelling against the truth. So he has to come before. And how can he enter congregations and speak to them and tell them the truth about their doctrine unless he comes again in the flesh, walking around and stuff like that? And reason why he himself says that he would come as a thief in the night and when they least expect it, because they are expecting him in the clouds. They are expecting to be taken away and gathered with him in the clouds, because they misinterpret certain scriptures also regarding something that will happen later on in the harvest in Revelation 14. But before Revelation 14 we have Revelation 11, In Revelation 11, it's about the two witnesses that will gather the people that will be harvested in Revelation 14. And before Revelation 11, we have Revelation 2 when it says that he is coming to fight with them with the sword of his mouth in the congregations. But they are not expecting that. And actually, whoever tells them what is wrong with their doctrine, they see him as an antichrist or as a false messiah or as a false prophet and so forth. So repent, or else I will come to you quickly, and I will fight against them with the sword of my mouth. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the congregations. Yet, sadly, since they have followed idols, they have ears but cannot hear, so this they don't get. Meaning what we just saw clearly. And that if you think about it logically, you should come to the same conclusion.